Hello and welcome to Audio Adventures. This is a D&D 5th edition podcast that is made by friends, with friends, and for friends. And if you clicked on us, buckle up. It's going to be a crazy magic carpet ride for you and me. This podcast is used by my nerdy friends and I to escape our lives for a time and act out some pretty ridiculous scenarios. And we are so glad to have you here. A couple things before we start. Our group loves the rule of cool, so I'm sure we will get rules wrong. So if we do, please feel free to tell us in a kind fashion down in the comments. Also, if you want to contribute to the fantastical world of Seblos where this campaign takes place, please make a comment and you may be seeing that kobold cleric in the very near future, along with your name in the show as well. Now, please grab a seat and some popcorn and let's meet our Wandering Vanguard. Audio Adventures is a D&D 5th edition homebrewed podcast and may deal with triggering themes at times. Viewer discretion is advised. Trigger warnings can be found in the description.
Previously on the Wandering Vanguard.
Last time, we had a good old shopping episode. The Wandering Vanguard, after arriving to this new plane of existence, at least for most of them, finally made time to go out and just recoup and spend some of their own hard-won coin. The level 11 party commissioned several pieces of clothing from Valkyrie's proper posture, and accidentally let it slip that you all are, in fact, the Wandering Vanguard yourselves, in which she left the room in a hurry to presumably get started on all of your orders, which she said would be done in several days. After that, all of you wandered around town, much like your name suggests, and found a portal that seemed to be anchored to the material plane, to a bookstore back in the country of Aradora, in which the Furbolg, which I kept confusing his name, but his name is Arnold, I promise, told all of you that the world is weaponizing, and several nations are pointing the proverbial finger at each other. For what? None of you know. You went about your day, and met some of Tavis's siblings, all of which spread into the woodwork in the city and their various lives. You met Feyhair Soldecht, who is a professor of elemental magic at Queen Tatiana's College of Excellence, and Ilabar, who is a pastry chef's apprentice at Preparos Pastries. You all made your way to the floating building of Merle's magic stuff. A short, gruff-looking, red-headed elf sold you various magic items. You traded various magic items, and commissioned him as well to enchant some items and identify some of your items. And you were told that it would take a while because he had to move his work upstairs, because there's something in his basement mucking up his workspace and burrowing around his basement. You all agreed to come back in 2 weeks, when some of your clothing was finished, and leave those with him as you all took care of this problem for him. Leaving, you made your way past a weird and literally crawling shop. When you went inside, a mismatched black and white elven man in a floppy top hat sold you several cursed and non-cursed items, such as a portable hole and dust of disappearance, and some other interesting and fun magic items. You obtained the necessary helmet that Nyx had been searching for all day long to start his research. And you all sat down for dinner. That's where we're going to pick it up. The day is coming to the end. You all have sat down in the large eating area of Soldeck's hospitality. It is moderately busy, about the same as ever. It seems that less people eat here for dinner than they eat here for breakfast. But you all have a seat around a large mahogany table. Virgil, Fellery, Belliana, but no Ekman.
I look over to Belliana, Virgil, and Fellery. It's like, hey, have you guys seen Ekman around?
Virgil is very busy digging into a cup of pudding that he had already ordered and Visaria has already brought out to him. Belliana looks up from a salad that she has ordered with several bits and pieces of meat all torn up into it. I haven't seen him all day long. He said he was going out to do something, and he hasn't come back since. Why? Is there something wrong?
Not yet. He's just been gone all day. I wonder what he's doing.
Oh. Well, if you need me to, I can try to go track him down if you want.
Nah, I know he's fine. I've talked to him. I sent a message to him and talked to him. He's okay.
Oh.
But
That's good.
that tiefling always has some type of mischief going on.
True, he always seems really busy.
I guess that's a way to say it.
She nods and goes back to her salad.
I'll find
No
salad on the
question.
menu and hit that. Oh, sorry, Doom.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. You first.
That was it. I'm just ordering a salad.
You find a salad. There are several different options. There's just like regular salad. There's the one that Beliana ordered, which seems to be called the Southwest salad. There's also a fish salad and a chicken salad and just a house salad.
I'll just get the house salad.
You click your option, click your desired beverage, and the menu flashes and evaporates as you know it does now out of your hand.
I was wondering if there's anywhere I could go to water my cherry blossoms.
You know from before that you were led around, and there's a sauna down in the basement, but there's also a kitchen where Visaria has a water supply, like a sink. There's also a garden outside.
I'll go to the garden first.
You get up and you walk out towards the back, and as you exit out the back door, you're...
Oh, wait. As I get up, I write a quick note in my book, and I show Tibble, and I tell him I'm just going to the garden, and then I leave.
All right. Stay safe out there.
I nod towards him.
Virgil looks up and actually darts off with you and walks out with you, holding a pudding cup, eating it, silently walking beside you. But both of you exit outside, and you are greeted by it's getting a little nippy out.
Okay.
But it smells great out here from all the herbs and all the flowers. There is a greenhouse towards the back of the... That's true, now the tomb can feel it or smell it. But but you see a greenhouse towards the back of the property, through some trees and through some of the little gardens that they have made, separating some plants.
Can I go to the greenhouse?
You walk
Okay.
through the garden, Virgil trailing behind you, still not speaking. Just very invested in this pudding cup. And you get to the glass outside, the glass paneled greenhouse, and it looks lit up on the inside.
Is there a bucket and a faucet?
You don't see any right now.
Is there a pond or a fountain in the garden?
You look around, it's weird, you don't see any water supply out here. But if you roll a perception check, you might be able to see more.
Okay. I'm gonna roll for perception. Ooh. 9.
9. don't see any water supply. But you hear like a little dunk, dunk, dunk as Virgil taps on the the left side of your body as you look to the right.
Like he knocks on?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, Steve. Okay, so Virgil.
Yeah, Virgil knocks on your left side.
I turn to look at him and like tilt my head, kind of confused.
As you turn to look at him with the pudding spoon in his mouth, he points with the... He leaves the spoon in his mouth and points on the inside of the greenhouse.
Is there a door somewhere we can go in?
Yep, you're actually standing about a couple feet to the right of it.
Ooh.
There is a small little steel, just circular knob.
I go to turn it. Does it open?
Yep, it opens.
Yay!
Hey there, everyone. I thought I would take this opportunity in our show to do some catching up. Some announceroonies, some talkies, even. Just to remind you all of our social medias, you can find us on Twitter, Audio Adventures at the username AudioAdventure2. Why 2, you ask? Well, number 1 was taken. Ayy. We are also on Facebook and Instagram. We have also set up a Ko-Fi. We had a couple comments made at us about being able to support us a bit with that good green juice that the world just seems to run on. So, if you're feeling generous towards us, that would be one of the avenues to help us grow and to encourage us as the artist as well. Another avenue to help us thrive and grow is to share and tell your friends about us. We are one of the many, many, many D&D podcasts out there, so we are ecstatic whenever someone wants to listen to us play D&D. We don't spend any money to advertise this show, so your support means that much more to us. And since there are more of us now, here is our Wandering Vanguard.
Well, I am Zach, and I will be playing Tavis, who is an Eladrin sorcerer. The only interesting fact that I can think of for him is that his last name is just, Elvish for owl, because he likes owls.
I'm Trevor. I am playing the character Nyx-with-burning-red-eyes. Nyx with burning red eyes. And his last name is Bright. He was born into a noble family, hence the actual last name, as he is a changeling artificer. Changelings don't normally have last names, they normally just have hyphenated names.
Hello there. My name is Tibril Darrow. I am a half-elf man from the town of Allerton. I am what you might call a soul knife. And before I get too far, let me explain what a soul knife is. A soul knife is someone who can summon a weapon that is bound to our soul. I used to have a longsword like my father, but now it's a glaive with etchings of flowers throughout the whole thing. Along with being able to summon the glaive, I'm able to use my mind to connect to the soul of others, to communicate and help in battle. Our friend Tomb, not being able to speak, but I'm able to connect to his soul and kind of get a general idea of what he's thinking and what he would say. Along with all that, my mom always said I had a golden glow to me, which I didn't really understand until now to be literal. Our soul's power shows through our bodies as different colors. I've never met another soul knife besides my father, so I don't know where he learned it. My mom and I lived in a town called Allerton. But before I get too very much into that, my mom was a very sick woman. We lost a lot of money and resources trying to find a cure, but nothing worked. My father left to find something to help her, and he never returned. That was when I was 8. I'm 25 now. Once I became a teen, I started working at the local apothecary. My father was a medic, master with blades and medicine, and I wanted to be like that. Medicine and plants, it's always been fascinating to me. I have my dad's journal here, and one day while looking through, I found something that I wasn't really expecting. I found out the book was only half filled, but the last page talked about this plant called the golden snapdragon. But apparently it's a plant of legend that can cure any known disease. The only other thing that's on these pages are 2 places, Estriston and Chanbu. And I think this is where he thought they were, which makes sense with how rare it is. That'd be 2 of the hardest countries to get into. I haven't been to either of these places, but it's the only lead I got. And one day we were raided by goblins. And then this a group of adventurers came up. They helped clear the goblins away, and they even helped save a lot of people that day. They invited me to come along on the adventure. This is the only chance I had to find my dad. But before I left, my mom gave me a couple things. But she pulled out a cape, a long purple cape with 2 golden pauldrons on the side. It fit perfectly, like it was made to fit me. Then she also gave me her wedding ring. Told me to if I find Dad, tell it to get his butt home. Now I have three things I have to do. I have to find my dad, find the golden snapdragon, and make it home alive. Because if I don't, my mother will kill me.
So my name's Emma, and I'm gonna explain to you what my character looks like and everything because he actually can't talk. So his name is Toon. He is a Warforged necromancer, and he kind of got his voice box ripped out, and so he can't speak. All he does is screech occasionally. He does write in a little notebook, so that's how he communicates most of the time. And he is covered in cherry blossoms, and he has a giant gash in the middle of his torso where he hides his familiar talon and some skulls and some other miscellaneous things. And yeah, he is silver with 2 green bands around each arm, and he has blue eyes. And that's pretty much it.
My name is Redguest. I am but a simple tabaxi who lives within others' means. I never knew my parents, but the Order of the Ghost Slayers made up for that. They taught me how to fight with honor as one of their esteemed blood hunters. My mercenary work taught me how to value my own life. These 2 paths have coiled into a journey of broken love and pointless purchases, where I now find myself with the Wandering Vanguard. I have no doubt they will be able to help me on my current mission.
And I think that's about it. Thanks so much for listening to this episode. And the next one will be up for all of you next Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See ya!
And you walk inside and you're greeted with several different sorts of plants here. And you see the familiar back of a small-framed, silver-haired woman who seems to be watering the plants. You recognize this to be Tavis's mother, Feynara Soldect. And as you walk on the inside, she says, "Ooh, Duck, dear."
I do. Do I make it in time, or do I not?
Yeah, I'll say you make it.
Okay.
You duck right as a watering can floats above your head.
Ah!
And she says, "Sorry, I didn't see you come in until it was too late." And she moves her hands, and you see about 4 other watering cans are just going all about watering different plants. And she's wearing like a worker's apron and a below-the-knee green skirt and a white button-up blouse.
I walk up to her and start writing in my notebook, and I politely ask her if she could water my cherry blossoms.
She reads it as she's like moving her hands around. "Oh, I suppose you would need to take care of those. And she holds up her finger. 1 second. And she whips her right hand around and brings over a large blue watering can that's kind of dented and rusted. And she says, "Okay, here it goes, I guess. I don't know if you need to close your eyes, your mouth."
I shake my head no. Well, technically my mouth is already closed.
All right. And you feel water just start to pour over you like a shower. And she kind of like brings the watering cans around you as just more and more water. And she like, after a little bit, she starts looking over. Oh, that one looks like it needs a little bit more. And then after a while, she stops. And the water stops pouring on you. And then she sets all of the watering cans down, lowering her hands. And her sort of whitish, yellowish energy on her hands stops glowing. And she says, "Oh, was that enough? Do you need more water?"
Shake my head no. And then I write in my little book and I tell her thank you.
Not a problem. Let me know if I need to do that again if you want. It looked like some of the cherry blossoms on your back were a little less tended to than the ones on the front, but I understand it's hard to reach sometimes. You might want to have some of your friends water your back cherry blossoms.
I nod.
Fantastic. So... And she stops for a second and kind of like bites the right side of her mouth and folds her hands in front of her, kind of like looking up at you
I tilt my head looking back.
Can I just ask, how did this all happen?
I
She
kind of
gestures to all of you.
Okay. I was like, I kind of look at her and I said, I'll take out my book and I write down, "You mean the cherry blossoms?"
That's part of my question. I suppose that's the more that's the less rude question. So I suppose I mean that.
Okay. If I remember correctly, I went and sat in the hot spring, right? When we were at that, like, pod hotel thing, before I destroyed... No, after I destroyed the Helm Temple. I went and sat in the hot spring, and I sat there all night, and I think that's how they sprouted, right?
Yeah, you were in the city of Zoomwell in Nevada.
Yeah. So I just relay all that to her through my notebook.
And as you're writing this down, she do like sentence by sentence or paragraph by paragraph. She like reads it and she's like, "Oh." Do you tell her about the Helm Temples and everything?
No, not that. I leave it
out. She nods. That's interesting. That seems to be a good sign. I think that means that someone out there is a little interested in your well-being.
No.
But I've never really seen. Then again, I've never really seen. You're called a Warforged?
I shake my head, yes.
Oh, pardon me. It's always really been elven people or other people that I've been around. So I'm sorry if I seem rude or anything like that.
You wouldn't know what rude means.
But I'm just so very curious because you're made out of metal, but then you're a blend of metal and organic.
As she's saying this, I just start writing. And then when she's done, I have her read it. And basically, it says that all I know is I was created by someone who uses magic. that I'm not organically born. That's it. And then I would assume that he didn't know what he was, like he didn't know he was a Warforged until like later, so then he'd also add that in as well.
She nods. Oh. That's... You didn't... Wow, that... If you haven't...
And then I also add on that that's how, or I say apparently, that's how all of my kind is made.
She nods. So you don't have a mother or a father? I mean, you have a creator, but...
I can't remember if we discussed what mother and father are, so I'm just gonna ask her what's a mother and what's a father. 'Cause I can't remember if I had that conversation with Tibril already or not.
Oh boy. If you don't know what a mother or father is, it's sort of... How do I say this? It's sort of like the person who created you, but in a less mechanical sort of ownership sense, but more of a familial bond, of a kinship, a caring. Because creators that make something, so probably, wouldn't die for their children, but I know I certainly would die for mine. So it's sort of, you care more, you love them. Does that make sense too?
I kind of tilt my head. And for the most part, it does, so I do nod. Because I think we also had a conversation about what love is as well. So I kind of understand. But, then I'd write in my notebook and I'd say, I write down and I say, so then, or I basically try to tell her that the people, like our party members, I would say are considered my family then. And I'd say, but I'm still trying to understand the concept of love.
The concept of love is a hard concept to grasp. But having a love for your friends and knowing that they're family is a good way to start. And she looks around. You can love many things. You can... She looks over to her left and looks at a sort of like a parsley herb that is over there, and she motions for you to go to the planter.
Okay, I walk over.
And she walks over next to you. This plant, I put it in the ground, I watered it, and it grew. And how you see now, it's a very healthy looking plant. And she grabs some of it and plucks off a stem of it and hands it to you.
I put my hand out.
Yeah, and she puts it in your palm. And it's also sort of like your cherry blossoms. You care for those, and they grow. The way I understand love is more or less like gardening. You are the seed, and someone who loves you can water you and help you grow, and tend to you, and you can help tend to them, and it's sort of a back and forth taking care of one another.
June kind of looks at her for a second. Just kind of thinking about what she said, and then looks at his cherry blossoms and kind of gently touches a few of them. And then you can, I guess, with a little expression a Warforged can make, I would say she could probably tell that he's starting to understand what she's saying more. So, yeah.
You look at Fenara. She smiles and she nods. If you ever want to come to my shop and just spend time or something of that nature, we can talk more, but
She'll do most of the talking.
And she reaches out her one of her small hands and pats you on your left. So on your wooden arm. You'll let me know if you need me to do anything for you, alright, too?
I nod.
She smiles again. Alright, well, feel free to stay in here if you want. You too, Virgil. Also feel free to have another pudding cup. Virgil's like, And she rustles his head. And she looks at him. My, you're starting to grow. Good. And she walks out.
Okay. Did you say she walks out of the greenhouse?
Yep.
Okay. I'll probably walk around the greenhouse a little bit, just admiring the different flowers.
You spend some time admiring all of the various sort of flowers, herbs, root. Seems that she has a lot of different sort of plants here. A lot of lavender. And it smells pretty nice in here. And Virgil finishes his pudding eventually and starts just talking all about the flowers and pointing out at them. But you spend a good amount of time in there. Alright.
Yeah, then after that I would just head back with Virgil.
And that was this episode of Audio Adventures. Thank you so much for being here. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and most of all, please share to get out the word so we can share our story with you and keep doing what we're doing. If you have an idea for an NPC, a shop, or even an encounter, please comment down below. You might be seeing any of those in the next session or maybe even the upcoming sessions. Again, thank you so much for being here, and we will see you next week. Please stay safe, everyone, and wear those seatbelts.